in trans. I don't know why YouTube just suddenly cut us off. So sorry for that break in transmission. Like I was saying before we cut off, like I was saying that we've not really had cracked eggs. Yes, we've not had eggs that were cracked and all that. We've not really had cracked eggs. You can see in that box over there, there are eggs, like those eggs that were there before. They've actually started laying. So we've not actually had cracked eggs. Like I was saying in the previous video, that from the beginning we were giving them super starter till they were 8 weeks. Sorry, 9 weeks. At the ninth week, we decided to change them to. At the ninth week, we decided to change them to. I'm just trying to give a recap of the first video before we were cut off. I said we started with super starter, and we gave them that super starter for 9 weeks before we switched to the grower feed. And the grower feed, we're supposed to give them till when they start laying. Ideally, that's what people say, you give them till when they start laying. But we gave our own, we gave the normal adva. Like for us, when we started with chicken. We started with chicken super starter. Then we wanted to switch to grower. We switched to adva feed. And the adva feed is good. Yes, if you can get adva in your location, adva feed is good. And when we switched to adva feed, we gave them grower for like till the 12th week before we decided to make our own grower feed. It wasn't like we were going to make all the feed ourselves. What we were doing was we'll buy a layer feed and we mix it with wheat offer, and the wheat offer makes it, the mixture makes it a grower feed. And how do we mix it? We use 4 bags of layer mash to 1 bag of wheat offer. 4 bags of layer mash to 1 bag of wheat offer, and we gave them that till like 18 weeks before we decided to make our pre-layer. And how did we make pre-layer? We made pre-layer by giving 6 bags of layer feed to 1 bag of wheat offer. 6 bags of layer feed to 1 bag of wheat offer. So that was that. So, and I was talking about like deep litter has its own advantage, while battery, and it has its own disadvantage. Like the saying goes, everything that has an advantage has a disadvantage. Deep litter has its own advantage and it has its own disadvantage. And like I said, we have battery cage over there, and our battery cage, when our birds start laying, we tend to have some situations where birds are egg bound. Like, just the way a woman finds it difficult to push. Some birds are egg bound during battery cage, but I've not really had a situation like this because we take record. One thing that is good for this business is the fact that you need to take record. If you have a mortality in a particular day, you need to find out what caused that mortality, what happened. So we have our record of when we were using battery cage. So in days we have days where we just write down egg bound, like that's what killed the birds and all that. But since this bird, I think birds should be allowed to exercise, because since this bird started laying for a while now, we've not had any bird that died due to laying. We've not had any bird that had egg bound. And secondly, we've not had any bird that's egg bound. I've not had any bird that laid shellless egg. And shellless egg is very, very, very common with deep litter. Yes, shellless egg, very, 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 very common with deep litter. And if you are doing deep litter, you must make sure that your birds are at the beat. You must make sure your birds are at the beat. It's very important. You can see that egg that is laid there. The reason why I will not rush there to go and pick that egg is because that bird, no matter how much it uses its beak to hit it gradually, it will not break. So it is very, very important that as a farmer, you make sure that your birds are the beat. Your birds are the beat. The reason why I will not rush to that place to go and pack the eggs that are there, I can see up to like 4 eggs in that place. The reason why I will not rush there to go and carry the egg is because I know even with the birds that are there, they will not break the eggs. Yes, they will not break the eggs because they are the beat. I've not really had any cause of cracked eggs. No, I've not really had cracked eggs. We could show you the ones that they've laid today. They are almost laying 2 crates already. By this time it's already 11, and they're already laying almost 2 crates fully. and we are not having any cracked eggs. So I think you should not let people just tell you anything and you take it. You know why? Because the truth is, I think all farmers have different experience when it comes to this a farming business. You are learning in the job. All farmers tend to have different experience in this business. You understand? One of the reasons why we never did, like I told you, that this place, if you see it like this, you see that this place that has wool. This place was originally built for a battery cage, but we decided to use this part to do a deep litter and try it out. And I think I will do more of deep litter. This whole place is a very long pen. I think we are going to just use everywhere here to do deep litter, because I really love the results I am getting from the deep litter. Do you understand? First of all, the birds came to lay early, and they are looking like they will get to peak before their 30th week. Do you get? So the deep litter system is not as bad as we think it. People will tell you, no, it's cage. I know if I put it somewhere right now and I say deep litter versus battery cage, which will you go for? A lot of farmers will choose, I want to go for battery cage. I want to go for battery cage. Battery cage is better. But trust me, there are advantages and disadvantages of the both of them. And I think the advantage of deep litter outweighs the disadvantage. A lot of persons will always argue and say battery cage gives you the that you have better peak production with battery cage and it's stable. But the truth is, if you can take care of your birds on deep litter well, you can take care of them well, I promise you that you can still get a very good laying percentage, up to 90% with deep litter. It is very possible. You can get 90% with deep litter. Yes, first of all, make sure that this manure is the cocoa. This manure thing is the cocoa. Make sure that it's not wet, because you want to be, see, you don't need to be spending so much drugs. Another thing, when you're doing layers, please check the drugs. There are some drugs that is not compatible with laying beds. It's not just enough to just go and buy the drugs. Check the drugs. There are some drugs that are not compatible with laying beds. It's just like you going to buy central dicos now that is for coccidosis. You are not supposed to give central dicos to laying beds. So there are some drugs that are not compatible with laying beds. So you want to check. Though some people will say, my beds were laying before and they stopped laying. What drug did you go and give them? So make sure that when you want to buy drug, even if it's a vet that's giving you the drug, make sure you check that the drug, is it for laying beds? Because some drugs always write it, do not use it for laying beds. Some drugs always write it, do not use it for laying beds. One of the things you can see with all these beds that are gathered here is the fact that they have their combs are already that they have good flock uniformity. We have a good flock uniformity. So you can see that they will come to their peak production very early. This is their second week of laying. So you can see that they will come to peak production. Sorry, their third week of laying. You can see that they will come to peak production very early. They will come to their peak production before the 30th week. If you know you want your birds to lay at 16 weeks, your birds form well, like you allow your birds develop well, you'll be amazed at the kind of eggs that they are laying. If I should show you some of these eggs, that sometimes I will just tell, because we sell our eggs unsalted, that's why we just give them like that. But if we were to sort the pullet egg inside, when your birds start laying, it's supposed to be laying pullet size, but the pullet eggs in our eggs are not as much as the normal standard egg. So the birds are actually laying good eggs. They are laying good eggs because they are healthy. They are very healthy, and you don't want your birds to be overweight. You don't want your birds to be overweight. You can see inside this box. There are a lot of eggs inside the box, and I'm not scared that they are going to break it, because the birds are big. So that talk of they always break their eggs, I've not had cracked eggs. We've not had those situations of cracked eggs. You can see this is the egg for a bird that just started laying. This egg, even the video is not doing justice to the egg. So you can see I'm not scared of like rushing to pack eggs out because they are going to break it, because the birds are debeaked. So when you are doing deep litter, please debeak your eggs. This particular bird here has already laid. This particular bird here, it has laid. This is what I'm talking about, eggs. because you don't want your birds to brood on the eggs. Like I said, it has already laid. And one thing that you should know is a dark colored comb and a bright colored comb. When you want to know a bird that is laying, the comb is bright colored, not dark, like very 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 dark. The comb is bright colored, not dark, like very very dark. And the truth is that when you are doing deep litter, forget the fact that you gave them laying box to lay like that. Tires, yes, some of the birds feel more comfortable to lay inside the tires. So if you have tires inside your laying pen, if you put tires inside your laying pen, you are still, because we're going to put more tires inside the laying pen. Like even before I made this video and started talking, you can see the number of eggs that they've laid here. You can see the number of eggs that they've laid here. I can't pick all of them at once, so I don't tend to break it. You can just easily just remove the dust on it. You can see that it's not all that bad. I'll come back and pick the other ones. You can see that it's not all that bad. It's not all that bad. So deep litter is also as interesting and good as battery cage. Yes, but you need to have a specific time that you come to pick your eggs. Please, you need to have a specific time that you come to pick your eggs. And one thing I've known is the birds, they lay most from in the morning till 2. Yes, the birds, they lay most from morning till 2 p.m. That's when you get your peak production in the day. From the morning, let's say from like 9 a.m. till the next till like 2 p.m. That's when you get your peak production. This is already like almost 12:30, and we've really gotten a lot of eggs. You can see this one just laid this one here. You can see, just lay this one here. All you have to do is clean it. You can see that the eggs from deep litter are also as clean as the egg you get from battery cage. You just have, the trick is make sure that this manure stuff is really 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 dry. Make sure that your manure is dry. If your manure is dry, trust me, you will not treat coccidiosis often. We have not treated coccidiosis in like 6 or 7 weeks, yes. So if your manure is dry, the cocoa is to make sure that this is where you have issues. You want to make sure that your pen is well ventilated. You can see our pen. This particular part, we cut it because the place is really very wide. You can see, but this is well ventilated. So you want to make sure that the place is very dry. You see this manure, one of the reasons is the fact that this place will not smell. Even if they don't pack this thing in the next 6 months, it will not smell. Yes, if they don't pack this place in the next 6 months, it will not smell. But you cannot try it with so if I was putting a cage here, it will smell, because you know the manure becomes watery. When it's in a cage, the manure becomes watery. But this one, the manure is dry. The manure is dry. So if you know you are thinking of how to cut cost, you can do a deep litter. You can see we are almost done with 2 crates. This is just before 12, and we're almost done with 2 crates, and they just started laying like 2 weeks ago. So you can see that the bears are really 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 doing great. The bears are really 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 doing great. They are really really doing great. So deep litter is not all bad. Can you have a good laying percentage with deep litter? Yes, you can. Can you sustain it? That depends on you as the farmer. Can you sustain it? That depends on you as a farmer. Your environment needs to be very neat. Forget the fact that these birds, they behave dirty, but your environment needs to be very very neat. You can see how many eggs I'm picking from here. You can see how many eggs I'm picking. So I'm just going to clean it. So this is just to encourage farmers that be like, I don't know what to do, I don't have money to buy cage. This is just to encourage you that you can do deep litter also, and you will still do it so well. You can watch our video from day old. You can remember when the birds came. The birds came and we took care of them from day old. So if you are that farmer, you are scared, you don't know what to do and what not, you can watch the video from when the birds came at day old, what to do, what to expect, what to treat. Because the trick to layer farming is to know what to treat at every given time. You see that bird that is squatting there, that bird wants to lay. that bird wants to lay, that is where the bird feel comfortable to lay. That's not the first time that bird is laying, but that is, that bird wants to lay tomorrow, that's where that bird will go to. And another trick to having a very good production in this layer farming is to make sure that you have a specific time that you feed your birds. Have a specific time that you feed your birds. Yes, if you know you want to be feeding your birds, the morning feeding, you can feed between 7 o'clock to 8:30. You can feed between 7 o'clock to 8:30. Then for the afternoon, you can feed between 2:30, 2:40 to 3:30. So you have a specific time that you feed your birds. Do you understand? Have a specific time that you feed your birds. If you just feed anytime you like, anyhow you like, it will be very, very difficult for your birds, because your bird is like human. Like, they already have it in their senses that this is the particular time they are going to bring food for me, and they will be waiting. Do you understand? So you have to have a specific time that you feed your birds. So if you are doing layers, make sure that in the morning between 7 to 8:30 you've already fed them. In the afternoon between 2:30, 2:40 to 3:30 you've already fed them. But in the days, in the hot days, that's where it becomes tricky. Hot period, we tend to feed early in the morning so that they don't have heat stress. You see us feeding around 6 o'clock, 6:30. But in the cooler days, maybe when harmattan period, you can see us feeding towards 9 o'clock when the sun is coming out gradually. So layer farming is tricky. It's very tricky, but it's actually one of the best kind of farming. Yes, with this one that you always cry that you don't have buyers for your broilers, you can actually do layer farming. If you know you don't have money to buy point of lay, which I will always advise people to do, to go for to buy day olds and train it yourself. I know the timing is long, like it's will I wait for 5 months? Can I wait for 5 months and all that? It's long, but the truth is, the moment you see your first egg, you'll be very happy. And when you want to go into layer farming, I beg you, always do your cost analysis. Know what it will cost you to raise that particular number of birds that you have. And it's not enough to just have the money. It is another thing to have more than that money, because anything can happen. That's just the truth. Anything can happen. If you can get your birds up to 18 weeks, 16 weeks, then you are good to go. If you can get your birds up to 16 weeks, you are good to go. If you can get your birds up to 16 weeks, you are good to go. I'm telling you, you are good to go. You can have a 1,000 layers, and you will take care of the 1,000 layers for 16, 18 weeks, and you will not have mortality. If you have mortality, it shouldn't be up to 10. It is very, very possible with layer farming, but you have to be very, very, very intentional about getting it right. You have to be intentional about getting it right. Layer have their own vaccination and medication schedule. So you have to make sure that you are going through the medication and the vaccination schedule. You can check our YouTube channel and you see how we took care of the birds from the day old and the different vaccination. We did fowl pox. When you did this, and some people by this time you start seeing that their birds have fowl pox. But generally for this video, in fact, I was trying to compare between the battery cage and the deep litter system, and I can tell you for free that even as much as we have battery cage down there, I love the deep litter system. I love the results I'm getting from the deep litter system. I can bet you. Yes, when the battery cage, when they started laying in battery cage, their laying was every day increased more than when it was on deep litter. But for a week now, the deep litter have really, really picked up. And sometimes feed is all you need. Your birds need a particular feed at a particular amount of feed every week. But do not forget that the fact that because you are on deep litter, you might have to add a little to the feed because your birds are exercising. And trust me, if I can always say the eggs that some of these birds are already laying is shocking to us because we don't have such with our battery cage. But I can tell you for free that the birds that exercise lays the best egg. The birds that exercise, they lay the best egg. I'm telling you. So only this morning now, I think we've gotten like 2 crates, and you still see some in distress in the cage. You can see this is the egg they've laid this morning. 2 crates is already complete. This is 2 crates already complete. So you can see, and some are still inside the boxes. These are the boxes that we constructed. I know there's this conventional one that people always see. People will just construct it. It needs to be very fine, but we didn't really do that. This one, we did it ourselves in the farm. We just look for plank that we had. I like to tell you that when you want to do battery cage, it's easier for you. It's easier for you. You can just do anything. Like some people don't even use wood like this, and they'll just be inside. Some people use tire. I later found out that most of the birds, when I came this morning, I picked around like 15 eggs inside just this place. 15, no jokes. I picked like 15 eggs inside just the place. Most of them will prefer inside the tire. So we're going to bring more tires. We're going to flood the whole place with tires, because we get to a point where everybody wants to lay, and even if you don't have anything where they can lay, trust me, they will lay anywhere. They will just lay anywhere. But one of the beauty of having a place that they can lay is the fact that the eggs become neat. Yes, it's the fact that the eggs become neat. It's the fact that the eggs become neat. And when you are doing deep litter, you have to be very, very careful, because you can step on egg at any time. You can see this bed. This bed is about to drop. This bed is about to drop. He's about to pop his own out. So you can see how the eggs come out from our bed. It's always a beauty for me to watch a bed when it's bringing out the egg to life. So it's gradually trying to push it out and all that in all its privacy and all that. And if you just lay and leave, but you want to be very careful. Some birds might try to be brooding, like the way a mother hen wants to cover its bed. Some wants to try that. So if you see a bird that is sitting on the egg, quickly remove the egg and drive the bed, so that the bed does not become a brooder and all that. So you can see the egg is down. You can see how neat the egg is. So that's just it. It's easy for them. I think the beds is easier for them on deep litter than battery cage, because battery cage, by this time I could tell you that we lost some birds, not in high numbers, maybe like one in a week or two, due to egg bound. If you get to see the birds early, you can help them out, try to put them under warm water and all that. You can help them out. But you can see one egg here. This is different from the one that one laid. This is another one. Then that's the one that was just laid. So you can see it's actually fun picking your eggs in your pen. So I will employ you farmers. Are you a broiler farmer? Are you tired? If you are a broiler farmer and you are tired, try layer farming. If you are a broiler farmer and you are tired of the results you are getting, is the market becoming frustrating, try layer farming. Try layer farming. Layer farming it's beautiful actually. Layer farming is beautiful. So you want to know what to do in your layer farming? Just try. Go to our YouTube channel. Take your time. Watch the videos. Watch the videos that we post. This is the one that was just laid. This is what a pullet egg is supposed to be like, small, but some are already laying some tables, a really good sized egg. So watch the videos from what you should do from the arrival of your birds, how to take care of it. You will see the vaccination that we gave to the birds, which is called the IO vaccine, the day they came. You will see the vaccination that we gave to the birds and all that. So you want to know. And trust me, you can do this farming as what is it called? As a side hustle. You can do layer farming as a side hustle. You can do layer farming as a side hustle. But the truth is that when they start laying, you need someone to pick the eggs. Someone. You cannot go to work in the morning and expect that all of them will just lay. You will come in the evening and pick it. That part, you might start having cracked eggs. You might start having eggs. You might start having shortage. But at this stage, but from the beginning, when they just started laying, you can do that. You know the quantity of water, you know the quantity of feed that you want to give them and all that. But when they start laying, truthfully, you need someone that will pick your eggs. You need someone that will pick your eggs. Imagine this morning they've already laid over 2 crates. This is the 2 crate here. I think the 2 crate is already filled. Imagine this morning they've already laid over 2 crates. So are you not, and they are still going to lay. So are you not going to say you are going to wait till the end of the day before you pick your eggs? That's one of the advantage of battery cage. If it was battery cage, when they lay the eggs, it will just come out and all that. But this situation, you can't have that. You can't have that. And one of the things of getting a very good laying percentage in your beds early is to have a good flock uniformity. I beg you, if you have a good flock uniformity, Imagine all your birds. Imagine the first day that these birds started laying, we had 4 instead of 1. We had 4 eggs. Just the first day, we had 4 good eggs. 4 eggs just the first day. In the next few minutes, you're going to see this bird at this corner. This bird is going to lay. This bird is going to lay in the next few minutes, and you need to understand that your birds can start laying as early as 17 weeks. Your birds can start laying as early as 18 weeks. If your birds are not laying at 20th week, they can start laying at 21 weeks. I know some people will tell you, oh, that's too late. There is an advantage to your birds not still laying early. When your birds don't lay early, they tend to lay longer. So people try to make sure that they pack the food, they do everything to make sure that the birds come to lay early. There's also a disadvantage to that. When your birds don't lay early, they tend to lay longer. You have less mortality. You have less mortality. There's something about calling their body development, like they will develop well. Allow your birds to develop well. Allow your birds to develop well. And also make sure you give them vitamin. If I cut, let me not forget that part. Make sure you give them vitamin. You see that vitamin, is very important. Like every week, we must give our birds vitamin. Every single week, we give them vitamin. Every week. We don't joke with it. Every week, we must give them vitamin. Maybe 2 or 3 days in every single week, we give them vitamin. And vitamin is not because you want them to lay. Another thing that vitamin does for you, does for them, is that it builds their immunity. It builds their immunity. And if there's one thing I love to do when I come into the pen in this deep litter, I walk around the pen. I walk around the pen. I am looking at every bed. I'm looking at the poop, which is actually very easy, but I'm looking at every single bed. Is there anyone that is sluggish? Is there anyone that is looking like the bed wants to be sick? Is there any color of poop that is not making sense to me? And I will treat. And in the course of treatment, I said it before those that are just joining, it's not all drugs that are compatible with laying beds. That's why you will see I gave my bed drug. After that, the bed stopped laying. It's not all drugs. So when you go to buy any drug, even if it's a vet that gave you, please read the drug. Like Central Dicosis, that is a very good coccidostat, already indicated it there that do not use it for laying beds. Do not use it for laying beds. So please always make sure that the drugs that you are buying, you are reading it. Can I use it for laying beds? Can I use it for my beds that are already laying? I use Central Dicosis for their coccidosis until they started laying. And at the point they started laying, if I want to treat coccidosis again, I can't use it. I can't use it. So give your birds vitamin, and please don't follow that popular trend that makes you think that you can't do layer farming except it has to be with battery cage. You can do layer farming even with deep litter, and you can get a very good result. You can get a very good result. As wide as do this deep litter everywhere around here, we can use our battery cage and the other places, though this place was specifically built for battery cage. The cage was supposed to be up here. This hole you are seeing, the cage was supposed to be up here, while the droppings will just be dropping. Then this place is actually linked to a sockaway, so it's supposed to flush it. But the odor, well, you can't compare it with this one. This one, you don't have any odor to think of. That's one of the advantage of deep litter. So that's why if you are in a residential area, you can do deep litter, because you would not have, you might be doing it and your neighbors will not know that you are doing it. You can see how wide this place is. You can see how wide it is. That's how wide it is. Yes, that's how wide it is. So, and it was supposed to be for deep litter. So that is that. That is that. So you as a pensioner, you as a working class, you can do layer farming. And layer farming will fetch you more money and more peace of mind than the broilers, because like I said, the broilers, people are always complaining, market. Egg will sell itself. In your streets, you don't have many stores that are in your streets that want to eat egg. So egg will always sell. So, but be ready to do the work. Be ready to do the work. So I think that's it. If you have any questions, you can leave it in the comment section. We will reply you. If you have anything that you are not so sure of, you have something you want to ask, you can leave it in the comment section. You want something that we should guide you on, you can leave it in the comment section and we would help you out. So truthfully, if you ask me now, before I started doing deep litter versus my battery cage, I will tell you I prefer the battery cage. But this time that we did deep litter for the first time, I can boldly tell you I prefer the deep litter. I'm telling you, I can tell you that I prefer the deep litter. Yes, I could tell you for free, I prefer the deep litter. The eggs are big, the birds are doing so great. I've not had egg bound. I know what egg bound is like. You literally have to help them to lay the egg. Like, you need to put them under warm stuff to help the birds out. It is very normal in battery cage. But so far in this deep litter, I've not had cause for that at all. I've not had cause for that. A bird that is having issues. If there's any bird that is having issues, but so far so good. No bird. So far so good. Is showing any sign of